Man, it does not even feel real yet. Saquon Barkley in midnight green. Take a look at that, man. Number 26. It is incredible. I still cannot believe it. Welcome on in to A to Z Sports Philadelphia. I am RB. Do us a favor. Hit the thumbs up if you enjoy this show and subscribe to the channel. Share it around because today was the first day of OTAs with the media allowed in. We got video clips. We got pictures and most importantly, some great interview quotes. This team sounds like they are already very confident in their abilities to bounce back. And man, I'm already ready to run through a brick wall. And it's only the last week of May. So give me your thoughts down below on the number one thing you're looking at going into OTAs and training camp. What's the number one camp battle or positional battle that you're looking at right now? Give me your thoughts down below. And I want to jump into this with, of course, Saquon Barkley again, because obviously, right, he's the premier free agent. He's the guy that you're looking at this offseason as your main acquisition. Sure, Howie Roseman added in a bunch of ways. He added a bunch of positional players to this team who are going to contribute, but Saquon is a star, man, and here he is warming up today for practice the first time. We're seeing him throw on that midnight green jersey, and look at all his teammates, and obviously this is OTAs, so it's not mandatory. But seeing how many guys are out here, and especially the veterans, you know, just helping to kind of gather that presence with the young guys and build that camaraderie, I think it's really huge. And by the way, shout out to ESP for all the great video clips and footage today. Here's Jalen Hurts, man. In action, Saquon Barkley, feast your eyes. Jalen Hurts, the handoff. Now, according to all the reporters that were there today, Kellen Moore implemented a lot of motion in the Eagles offense, and I think that is huge. You know, obviously the Eagles did not see a lot of that last year, and they were very predictable. They were very one-dimensional at times, and all we did was scream at Brian Johnson. Why are you running the same screen plays? Why are you running the same 5 plays the entire game? No motion. You saw AJ frustrated at the end of the season. These guys have a lot more talent than was displayed last season, and I do think a big part of that was coaching, so Kellen Moore off to a really good start today. And last but not least, we get a quote from Saquon Barkley about his teammates. Let's listen in.
For me, like I said, it's new. Just going out there trying to learn the system. Biggest thing, you know, that struck me is our first 7-on-7 huddle. You see A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert, and Jalen Hurts. It's not a bad group to be out there with, and that's not even including offense.
Man, shout out to Saquon, giving a huge shout out to his teammates, AJ, Devontae, Jalen, Dallas. He's like, man, I actually have some real offensive weapons around me now. I'm not going to be asked to carry the ball 30 times a game and get ran into the ground. So you could tell, just look at the sigh of relief on his face right there. He's like, wow, it's really sinking in. I have some actual good teammates and really a Super Bowl caliber offense on my hands. So shout out to him. And obviously the other big component of that offense is, of course, Jalen Hurts, who needs a return to MVP form. And here he was throwing the ball around today. Kenny Pickett watching on, who will be the Eagles' backup. And according to all the reports, Jalen Hurts looked incredible today. ESP says that Jalen Hurts completed every pass he attempted in 7v7 to start off the practice, mostly to A.J. Brown. Obviously, again, right, you're not in a game-like situation. You're just going through the motions, but good to see him in shape. They said he looked really good again. Obviously putting on a little bit more muscle, but also just looking very slimmed down at the same time and just looking shredded in a way. And we know that that's always been who Jalen Hurts has been, but, you know, Jalen Hurts is out here doing what he can to get in the right shape. Here's A.J. Brown, the other big-time weapon, and we have no questions about him. We might have some questions about another Eagles receiver, which we'll talk about in just a second, but A.J. looking sharp as always when it comes to the drills. But obviously, Devontae Parker retired the other night suddenly, so we're sitting here asking ourselves, what do the Eagles do now? And today we saw some Paris Campbell, we saw some Johnny Wilson, and some Anaya Smith. ESP says Johnny Wilson, the way he moves at his size is definitely special and not something I've seen from many Eagles over the years. Obviously, 6'6", might be more of a red zone target. But a 6th-round pick, and hopefully this is a guy that you hit on late in the draft. They're going to need somebody to step up. And ESP says Paris Campbell is bigger in person than I expected. Impressive size considering his speed. Maybe can plug in at the slot. I mean, right now it's sitting right in front of Paris Campbell. Like, he is the guy who needs to take the reins, right? Devontae Parker's out of the question. It is your job to lose, Paris Campbell. Depends on how much you want it, how much you're going to go get it. And Chris Franklin added as well about Paris Campbell, says he and Isaiah Rodgers had some good battles on the outside, and we'll get to the corner in just a second, but AJ used all over the field and lots of motion confirmed from Chris Franklin. So I like what Kellen Moore is already implementing, just giving this Eagles offense a lot more of a dynamic this upcoming season. Now, we're about to get to my favorite quote of the day, and man, seeing the smile on this guy's face really just brightened up my day as well. But before we do that, let's give a shout out to our sponsor of today's show, and it is BetMGM. Enjoy all your favorite sports like never before at BetMGM. Sign up using our code ATOZPA and get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. With BetMGM, you'll get instant access to parlay selection features, live betting options, player props, and daily boosted odds specials. And with BetMGM at your fingertips, every play and every game matter more than ever. So find out why BetMGM is the king of sportsbooks. Sign up today with bonus code ATOZPA and get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you do not win your first bet. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Hey, man, smash the over on the Eagles wins, because right now they're already coming out looking like they're on fire. These boys are ready to rock. They're ready to lock in. And Howie Roseman leads the troops. Here he is with Vic Fangio on the sideline having a discussion about the players as they are stretching. But this quote was my favorite of the day, and it was Jalen Carter talking about his new defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio. He says, quote, "I love Vic. I'm all about old school football. Hard work. I'm ready to be coached." A lot of the players were very impressed with Eagles defensive coordinator Vic Fangio. Jalen says he's been working on his conditioning. Jalen says that Jordan Davis has also been doing extra work and working on his conditioning. And these two are really going to be the players that have to step up in 2024. It is now your time to step in and fill the role and shine and become Pro Bowl players. And I love the fact that, especially with everything coming out about Vic Fangio and how the Dolphins players are kind of throwing shade at him, Jalen Carter says, no, I'm from the old days. I'm from the old school. I'm ready to get my hands dirty and go out there and work harder than everybody else. So I love the mentality, and I think it has to be portrayed amongst this team from the vets to the rookies. Now, ESP talked about the linebacker and corner positions, and these are two of the hot spots right now. Who's going to win the jobs? And obviously, we're not in camp yet, so we're not looking at specific battles, but there's a lot of guys out here putting in work, okay? Devin White and Zach Bowen were the starting linebackers in 7-on-7. Slay, Rodgers, and Maddox were playing corner today, and we'll get to the others in a second, but no James Bradbury. Interesting, right? Maybe, things are just going how they are, and Bradbury will report and everything will be fine, but it is interesting with Slay there, with Maddox there, right? Some of these other vets, no James Bradbury. There's been a lot of rumors, a lot of talks about will he get traded? Eagles drafted 2 corners. Will they just cut him after June 1? I don't know, but it is interesting that he was not present today, so that is definitely something to keep in mind. And when it comes to the linebackers, again, I still think they need to address that position more, but no Nakobe Dean. In terms of the other corners, the guys that the Eagles drafted, Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean are with the second team today. Cooper DeJean was at the nickel. So again, going back to what we just read, Darius Slay, Isaiah Rodgers, right, who came off the suspended list and has been reinstated, who has a lot to prove, is coming out here earning some reps. So we'll see if he is the CB1 going forward. I think it's interesting. Maybe they're just trying to, keep the rookies together and kind of, nurture them in here. But I would expect Mitchell to eventually step up and be the guy. But Vontae Maddox, who has been in this situation, of course, before getting the start today, I'm assuming at the nickel. And ESP said that later on, Quinyon Mitchell had a nice pass breakup. It was from Kenny Pickett, and Mitchell jumped the route and broke it up. One other corner we got to talk about, Darius Slay, and just his emphasis. I'm glad that he's here. I like that, he's being that veteran presence for some of these young guys, because, again, they do not have to come. But he says he wants to give the young rookie cornerbacks the blueprint that he has used for success. And big play Slay coming off, obviously, up and down year, rocky season like everybody else, but he's 33 and he's trying to lock in and have another Pro Bowl season. And he says that it is important for him to be at voluntary OTAs because he wants the young cornerbacks to see he is there for them and to help them adjust to the NFL. So just speaks a lot to his maturity, right? There have been questions about, is he serious sometimes? Is he mature, et cetera, et cetera. But he's out here when he doesn't have to be on a hot May day and just coming out here to help the young guys. So I think that speaks a lot to who he is. And I think he's going to bounce back and have a really good season. So shout out to Big Play Slay. And he says that he feels great after a knee injury last season. Some of the players wanted to race him. And he says, guess who won? The 33-year-old. The wheels are back. That's what I like to hear. That is the confident Big Play Slay that has been a menace in this league on the outside. So shout out to Big Play Slay, and we will wrap up with our new right guard, Tyler Steen, who is assumed to be getting the job this year. We'll see how things develop, but him and Cam Jurgens getting some work in together. Hey, man, have to fill some big shoes, but Tyler Steen, like I said, it's your job. It's your job to lose. And I also really like how Tyler Steen is not getting ahead of himself, not getting too cocky. He is very humble. He says he feels he's much farther along than last year and says he has to prove himself to earn the starting job. So shout out to Tyler Steen. Give me all your thoughts down below in the comment section. As always, appreciate everybody for tapping in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. That being said, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.